This is Daily Armenia, CivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what you need to know today. Russia's top diplomat warned this weekend that Armenia, which he called ungrateful, must decide if it will remain in a Russian-led military alliance after the country indicated it may formally seek to exit the Collective Security Treaty Organization. We expect an official confirmation of Armenia's final decision, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said at this year's Antalya Diplomacy Forum in Turkey. If Armenia leaves the CSTO, Lavrov added, we would need to reconsider many aspects of Russia-Armenia relations. Lavrov's remarks come after Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan confirmed last week that Armenia had in effect frozen its membership in the alliance, and refused to rule out the possibility he may formally take his country out of the bloc. Armenia's relations with Russia, its traditional security guarantor, have worsened dramatically in recent months, with anger and frustration mounting in Yerevan over what is seen as Moscow's unwillingness or inability to honor its treaty obligations. Observers say Armenia's continued membership in the CSTO is incompatible with the closer relationship it wants with the European Union and United States. In addition, Lavrov refused to comment when asked by a reporter about recent indications Armenia may expel Russian border guards from the country's main airport, where they have been stationed for more than 3 decades. Armenia's parliament speaker said last week removing Russian guards from Yerevan's Zvartnots International Airport would be correct, just days after the local news site Factor reported Armenia plans to expel Russia's border guards from Zvartnots in the near future. CivilNet has not independently verified that information. Greece's defense chief is currently visiting Yerevan, where he agreed today with his Armenian counterpart to deepen the two countries' defense ties. No further details were made immediately available. This comes after Prime Minister Pashinyan's trip to the country last week, his first official one. Armenia and Greece signed a military technical cooperation agreement in December, which includes provisions for experience exchange, education, and tactical training. Videos posted over the weekend on Azerbaijani social media accounts appear to show that Nagorno-Karabakh's former parliament building has been at least partially demolished. Satellite images suggest the demolition occurred at the end of last week. The parliament building was located in Stepanakert Central Renaissance Square, and an adjoining building for military veterans appears to have also been torn down. It marks perhaps the most prominent in a string of Armenian sites and monuments across Nagorno-Karabakh that have been destroyed or vandalized since Azerbaijan seized control of the region last year. To that point, a photo is also circulating online that appears to show a man sitting on the altar of Stepanakert's cathedral, a reminder that Armenian religious sites across Nagorno-Karabakh have been in danger since Azerbaijan's takeover and subsequent ethnic cleansing of the region. CivilNet scored a major legal victory this month as an appeals court dismissed a libel case brought against our news organization by a former hospital director who was the subject of an investigation into his apparent abuse of power. 2 years ago, CivilNet reported that Stepan Mosinyan, the former head of the Alaverdi Medical Center, was pressuring the families of deceased patients at his hospital to use the services of his relatives' funeral businesses. Mosinyan, who had denied all allegations of wrongdoing, then took CivilNet to court, demanding the outlet retract the investigation and pay him nearly $7,500 in compensation. When a lower court ruled in CivilNet's favor, Mosinyan appealed. However, that appeal has now been dismissed. CivilNet keeps you up to date with our weekly business segment. This week, we highlight the United States' decision last month to sanction GeoPro Mining, the Russian company that operates Armenia's biggest mine. We also discuss the Armenian government's move to take a minority stake in Viva MTS, the country's biggest telecommunications company. You can find a link to the report in the video description. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 11.5. That's the amount of land in hectares at the top of Yerevan's landmark Cascade complex that has been returned to the city by the nearby Kafesyan Center for the Arts. Construction of the Cascade began in the 1970s, but was never finished. City Hall says this change of ownership will allow it to finally complete the structure, one of the city's biggest tourist attractions. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.